Thank you, Mr. President. Will the distinguished sponsor yield the floor to this representation for a few clarificatory questions?
Yes, Mr. President, it will be an honor, Mr.
Thank
President.
you. Before I start, Mr. President, I would just like to personally welcome Secretary Gibo Teodoro to the Senate. No? And before we get serious with my interpellation, share lang konting trivia. You know, when I was still a lieutenant colonel, Mr. President, we used to go out a lot, with then student, UP student, law student, Gibo Teodoro, along with now Secretary Ricardo De Leon, the NSA, the late Colonel Molsales, and Johnny Junicio. So, mamaya pag gusto nyo suspend yung rules, tanungin nyo lang diretso kung saan kami nagpupunta. Anyway, Mr. President, the other day, I think, Malacanang, through Executive Secretary Ralph Recto, sent notice to the Senate President and Your Honor, as Finance Committee Chairman, to create and provide appropriations under the 2026 General Appropriations Act to assist the local government units recently struck by back-to-back typhoons Tino and Uwan, which entered the Philippine Area of Responsibility last November 2 and November 7, I think, so back-to-back. And as such, for purposes of crafting the Post-Disaster Needs Assessment, or PDNA, they may be treated as cascading and compounding disasters. Kaya yung PDNA, pwedeng pagsamahin yung dalawa kasi back-to-back, hindi separate. With that said, the Senate and Congress, for that matter, Mr. President, cannot simply introduce amendments under the Senate version and even during the BICAM without getting some data on the ground. And this is where I will focus my interpellation. I will skip the portion yung sa budget proper ng DND. Anyway, our colleagues will definitely cover that. Dito lang magpo-focus because there's urgency, as you well know. Ang unang tanong ko is, do the respective, or does the OCD, kasi sa job description nila ito, meron na ba kayong na-craft na post-disaster needs assessment as we speak?
Yes, they have crafted a post-disaster assessment, Mr. President. But it's ina-update ho nila regularly pa rin. Pero meron na po.
Can we have a copy so we can be assisted when we introduce amendments, because we have to itemize, kasi kailan line items eh. And this will cover, because the SWOT of destruction cut across the Bicol region. 3 regions actually, at least 3. Region 5, Central Visayas, and the Negros Island, the 2 Negros provinces. So kung meron na, kindly give us a copy so we will be guided accordingly when we tackle the appropriate budget or funds for the purpose.
Yes,
kasi
Mr.
without the items, we'll be lost, di ba? And we will try to avoid lump sum appropriations, because when we realign some items or some appropriations papunta sa LGSF, because the request was to augment the LGSF, the Local Government Support Fund, para yung mga local government units on their own can rehabilitate and recover.
Yes, they will submit to His Honor the report.
Yeah, as a matter of policy, ano ba yung time frame within which a post-disaster needs assessment must be submitted? I mean the report. And before that, yung local disaster risk reduction and yung RDANA, rapid damage needs and analysis, yung Ardana. Meron na rin ba ito? Yung immediate, yung initial damage report?
Yeah, meron na rin po.
So we also need a copy.
They'll submit po to His Honor itong RDAN, Rapid Disaster Needs Assessment.
Actually, I'd rather that they submit it to the Finance Committee.
Yes,
So we can discuss it among ourselves.
All right.
When we introduce amendments, even during the BICAM. Kasi inisip ko kung wala at wala tayong basis, maybe we can even resort to passing a supplemental budget that would be more tedious kasi may mga requirements. To pass a supplemental budget, kailangan pa natin ng certification from the Treasury na merong available na fund. So we can get away with that or do away with that and instead just introduce amendments in the BICAM.
Actually in the past, yan sana yung magandang dahilan kung bakit po may unprogrammed/sagip sa mga ganyang mga needs assessment na tumawid po ng fiscal year. But since itong 2026, tinanggal na ho natin yung unprogrammed funds, especially po yung sagip, a supplemental budget will be needed.
Yes, we must also take into consideration the calamity fund of the LGUs because I understand 5% ito ng total local budget. Say Cebu province, for example. I think aside from Tino and Uwan, they were also hit last year yata. But I was researching on their local budget. Yung 2024 budget nila, medyo malaki 23 billion. So if we take 5% of that, easily, that would be what? 1.15 billion, no? Easily. That's only for 2024. And the years prior to 2024, noong 2022, nasa 18 billion yung budget nila. So pag ni-round off natin yung calamity fund nila, medyo malaki. So we should also take that into consideration when we appropriate funds for Cebu, no? Yung Negros Occidental, yung kanilang budget nasa mga 5.4 billion. So yung 5% of that, that's also for 2024. Yung 5% would be around 270 million. So all this should be taken into consideration when we realign the funds from some other items to the LGSF. But we should be very specific. Kailan naka-line item lahat ito, Mr. Chairman. So now that the questions regarding the PDNA and the Ardana are adequately answered, we just need the copy, so we will be guided accordingly. That's all, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Senator Lacson. And you can be assured that the department will send to us the post-disaster needs assessment and the rapid disaster needs assessment, hopefully by Monday.
Yes.
By Monday, yeah.
All right, thank you.